Today's first question is essentially, guys, I recapped it, advice for a growing window replacement company. So essentially, we got the question here. My brother has a small window installation business, and he sells windows and does the installation. He does amazing work. He takes his time and does high quality work, and he stands behind all the work as well. His price is about 1/3 of that of the big boys. My question is, since he's just starting out and he doesn't have a lot of money up front to pay for ad spend or for marketing, what's the best way to get him like 5 to 10 window jobs so he can come up with a marketing budget out of those profits to start getting busy for the whole summer throughout the fall? So essentially, if he were your brother, what would you do? All right, so first and foremost, what's up, Frankie Allen? Good to see you, brother. First and foremost, family's tough. I love family. I'd always do whatever I can for family, but family's tough, right? Family doesn't always listen. So just a little quick disclaimer there. Family is tough, but I would obviously bend over backwards each and every time for a family member to try to help them. First and foremost, your brother, you said, charges about 1/3 of what the big boys charge. Okay, so first and foremost, double your prices. Right there's your advertising budget, right? Double your prices. So my father's company has a window company, a roofing company, and they've started over the last really 2 or 3 years to expand. They're now doing decks and they're doing siding. They're starting to do more and more. But over the last 2 years, really last year and a half, like their business has just like freaking taken off. The revenue hasn't 10x, but I'm talking probably 150% increase in revenue in a year and a half from a local, brick and mortar type of local business is a big freaking deal, right? And they're not a brand new business either. They've been out there, they've been established. And one of the big aha moments that my father and everybody else there just couldn't believe is they just recently raised their prices at the beginning of this year. And they raised their prices, I think, by like 20%. And he said that there's been quite literally zero pushback on the raised prices. Okay, so they were all like extremely scared. Him and every other sales guy, right, were like extremely worried that the increase in price was going to crush them and have this huge detrimental effect on sales for the company, right? And it didn't even touch them. So I know that this can be kind of a head game in terms of pricing, but the fact of the matter is your brother is undercharging like a mother. And if he wants to grow a real business, he needs to double his prices to start. Okay, so just by doubling his prices, he's gonna get an advertising budget, okay? And it might be small, right, to start. I understand he's growing a business, but the first thing that he should be doing is remarketing and retargeting. Okay, it's the same thing, folks. Okay, it's just called different things depending on the platform, right? So a visitor comes to your website, they convert or they don't convert, your choice and kind of how you set things up, right? They turn into a lead, they turn into a buyer, they don't, you just advertise to everybody. And you stay in front of them showing them ads all across the internet, right? Essentially, guys, this is one of the biggest things that I am in right now, one of the biggest things that I am pushing right now. And the fact of the matter is simple, right? 70% of people that see a remarketing ad for you are going to end up choosing your business versus a competitor's, right? You can't really mess with that, right? Remarketing and retargeting is the only thing that makes every other advertising more effective, right? The only thing out there. So as far as I'm concerned, the first thing that you should be doing in terms of advertising is ensuring that you make every advertising as effective as possible, right? So the way that I would do that is with remarketing and retargeting. Next up, what I would focus on is some very hyper local type of campaigns. Okay, and by that, I would be doing like YouTube, Google Display Network, even some third-party traffic sources potentially, like Traffic Fuel. And I'd be getting really targeted. So I'd be putting my demographic in there. So you should know exactly who your customers' buyers are, right? They're homeowners, right? They probably not single income families, right? They have the money to be able to do a renovation. They probably, are, between 35 and 55, I would guess, right? And I'm sure that there's a couple more characteristics that you could lay out that would really dial in your target market. And then you know that they live in, one of these handful of zip codes that you're going to be servicing, right? And you can quite literally dial in your marketing that well. And then I would just combine that hyper local campaign, right, with a really good offer. Okay. If you're in, so really good offer. If you're in a hot area or you're in a freezing area, let's say, that's great. And an easy way to make an offer in the window replacement market, right, is like your energy efficiency, right? So you can come in and do an energy efficiency audit and tell them how bad their windows suck and how much money they could be saving if they just got their windows updated, right? The air wouldn't be so lofty in their place, right? It would feel better. The air, would be more evenly distributed throughout the entire house. And oh yeah, by the way, we also this month are running 0% financing, right? Like that's an easy pitch. If you live then in South Florida, for example, you have like the hurricane / impact glass kind of market as well. All right. And when you're in the impact glass kind of market, there's a huge difference in price point. We pay a lot more for replacement windows and doors. Okay, so those are just some ideas on the offer. Once that's settled in, it's working, you want some more, then I would focus on mobile search next. The reason I would focus on mobile search, and I go after Google, I'd go after Google and I'd go after Bing. The reason is because with mobile, you can almost guarantee that you're going to have like very high conversion rates. You don't have to focus so much on the landing pages and how great they are, right? Like you do, but they're a lot easier to get to convert well than desktop traffic. So I would start with mobile search, and I would definitely do call only campaigns, and I would split test that, right, versus just traditional mobile campaigns. And what you're going to find is that your CPA for mobile is typically going to be a lot less than desktop, okay, or considerably less without a lot of work, right? Like you can have a very basic mobile website with a big call to action to click to call, right, or tap to call, and you show a review or two and show that you're a reputable company, and that's basically all that you got to do. Okay, so I would definitely focus on mobile search next. And then me, guys, I'm a direct response marketer, but I'm also a search engine marketer, right? So the majority of my skills and my experience and where I've driven the most amount of revenue from people is from the search engines, right? Not from like display ads. By all means, running pay-per-click advertising, but through Google. And so just for me, naturally, what would come next is running desktop traffic, right? Running desktop search. Again, we'd focus on the major search engines, which in this case is going to be Google and Bing, really, at the end of the day. And so this would be kind of my, I don't know, what is that? I guess we got to back these out. My 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-step process to kind of ramp up my brother or my family member if they were kind of in the shoes or in the circumstance that you gave for the window replacement company. Okay. Douglas says Facebook ads too. So Douglas, like, I would run Facebook remarketing and Facebook retargeting. My issue with Facebook is you got to interrupt people, right? And you got to get their attention, and you got to get the attention of somebody that's not your customer yet. When you go with Google search, you're just raising your hand when somebody says, I need somebody that does window replacement. You're just like, yeah, I do that. I can help you, right? Like it's a completely different skill set, right? And it takes obviously a very different landing page and customer experience to take that prospect from ice cold on Facebook and actually get them through the door and turn them into a buyer on the other side. Am I saying that it's impossible? No, Douglas, just being 100% frank with you, like that's not my skill set. Is it possible? Yes, but I'd rather focus on kind of the low-hanging fruit first, and I believe that this order is that low-hanging fruit, right? It's also why I don't run like what they would call an SMMA, right? A social media marketing agency, and run Facebook ads for local businesses. I'm all about getting business right now, right? Not waiting, not I got you a lead, but good luck converting that lead. No, I'm gonna get you a lead, I'm gonna get you a phone call, and I'm gonna get a butt in the seat if you're a dentist, right? I'm gonna get you out to that local business because they actually picked up the phone and called, and they want your service now, right? Like that's what I focus on, Douglas. So I hope that makes sense for you.